Star Report. I'm your host, Star. Welcome to the show. Folks, it is Friday evening. I want to be a little silly, go off the rails. I do have notes, but I want to address Shannon Sharpe and Shaquille O'Neal. Shaq has dropped a diss track getting at Shannon Sharpe. I want to try and give you some context, but at the same time, I don't promote beef, tension, and or drama. And let me say early, Shannon Sharpe, you have to be careful. Shaq is an old Newark, New Jersey nigga. Different type of nigga. Those niggas lay down Malcolm X. That's a fact. It wasn't Brooklyn niggas or Harlem or BX niggas. No, niggas from Newark laid him down Soul Brother style. Okay? And I don't know if Shaq's biological father was, running with those types of people. But Shannon, you've got to be very, very careful. Let me just say that early, all right? Now, this has stemmed, in case you don't know, from an interview that Shaquille O'Neal was conducting, and he was speaking to Jokic. I'll just say that. You guys assist me with the name, okay? I've started sipping already. Shannon Sharpe on his show, his show is popping. Both of his shows are popping, and he's also doing The Jig with Stephen A. Smith, which I don't watch. But Shannon Sharpe criticized Shaquille O'Neal. He criticized him, and he started making it kind of personal. And Shaq has responded with the diss track, and the type of diss track that he has put out, for now, is getting at Shannon Sharpe and just, comparing himself to Shannon. And there is no comparison. There just simply is not. You guys feel free to call in and discuss the numbers if we even can. Shannon Sharpe is from the NFL, Shaquille O'Neal from the NBA. But this is going into a direction, and I want to urge Shannon Sharpe, who's a few years older than Shaquille, to make it right, diffuse the situation. In similar fashion, how you diffuse the Mike Epps situation, because Shaq, and let me just go off of memory here. I've got notes with regards to Shaq's accomplishments and career highlights, but let me go off of memory. Shaquille O'Neal was a troubled youth, and he spent his formative years up until maybe 15 or 16 in Newark, New Jersey. A hellhole, okay? His father left at very early in his life. He had a Jamaican stepfather, and at some point they moved to Germany, which actually saved Shaq's life. But his formative years, those of us who are from New Jersey, who we know, Shaq was, I'll just say he was about that action, slapping niggas. That's what he was known for, slapping fire out of people. When he got to the NBA, he played with the Orlando Magic. Even Michael Jordan put respect on Shaq's name. And I remember the interview, and Jordan said, we can't go through him. We have to go around him. When he played with the Orlando Magic, he wasn't the fun, lovable guy that we have come to know. I'm as old as dust. I'm older than Shaq and Shannon Sharpe, so I'm giving you what I remember, right? And when he got with the Lakers, Phil Jackson, who Shaquille O'Neal gives a lot of credit to with regards to being a mentor, was able to help him harness, the Newark, New Jersey person that was within him. However, he did smack fire out of Kobe Bryant, in case you don't know. Anybody in that live chat want to chime in on that? Smacked Kobe in a practice game in front of everybody. Pow! Kobe fell back. I don't know if he fell down, but it helped Kobe get his mind right. Now, Shannon, you've got to be very, very careful because, again, you're talking, you're critiquing this man, and he did it on his podcast called Nightcap with Chad Ochocinco, who I have come to really take a liking to in terms of his media presence. But anyway, so Shaq has responded with this diss track. I think the track is kind of fire. Shaq was signed to Jive Records. I remember back in the days, he made a couple of movies. I forget what the films were called, but and he was rolling with some guys out of Brooklyn who had a lot of skills on the mic. The Fushnikins, salute to them. So will Shannon Sharpe respond with his own diss track? I don't know, but if he does, let me tell you where I think this will go. The next response from Shaq will be a direct, when I see you, I'm gonna deal with you type of response. Not that I want to promote that, but I'm just trying to give you some context here. Okay, now I've got Shaq's again career highlights, and Shannon Sharpe, to me, he seemed to have they had issues in the past? I don't know. The way he came at Shaq and said, again on his podcast with Chad Ochocinco, that Shaq is never in the GOAT conversation. The fuck he's not. I think he's bigger than the GOAT shooting conversation. Shaquille O'Neal elevated the game of the center. That's a fact. That's a fact. He took it to the next level from Wilt Chamberlain and other people who played the center position. He was everything, and I mean no disrespect, he was everything that most of these centers prior to him could not achieve, and that was dominance, full dominance. Everybody stayed out of his way because he was that powerful. You couldn't stop him. As Jordan said, you couldn't stop him. You had to go around him. Now, let me also say this with regards to my main topic. Shaquille O'Neal drops Shannon Sharpe diss track. I'm not sure what Shannon Sharpe's angle was. Maybe he just needed some content. Maybe he's a little too riding too high off of the Cat Williams interview. Still, maybe he feels the need to critique Shaq based upon his interview again. And I found that to be odd. If you're new to my show, I don't go after other content creators, people who host platforms. Even if I like you, if I like what you do content-wise, I don't watch you that much. And the reason why is not that I think I'm better than anybody. I don't want to critique what they do on the microphone, I don't want to be someone who overanalyzes what somebody said and then say, he really pissed me off. And she said some shit I didn't like. Well, that is doing too much, if you ask me. And I certainly don't watch people who just sit around and gripe and fucking complain. So, with regards to Shannon Sharpe, I don't know. I think he was wrong. I think he owes Shaquille O'Neal an apology. I will say that. But hey, it's Friday night. I am here to entertain the bullshit. Okay, he has dropped a diss track. Now, my showrunner Game releases Rick Ross diss track. Rapper Game. Rapper Game. Never mind, the little, it wasn't even tension. Never mind the little nonsense with Game and I. Game tried to gaslight me and sick his gang on me, so I responded and called my gang on him. You know who my gang is. Let's not waste time talking about that. But I have never met Game in person. I want to try and be as objective as possible tonight. Guys, did anybody hear the Game diss track? I listened to 75% of it, and I said, "Oh, okay. Well, why is he already dropping Academic's name in the beginning, Kai Cenat? Why is he doing all that?" And just and then Rick Ross. I saw a video with Rick Ross responding. He had a bowl of cereal, and he's laughing. He's laughing at the Game diss track. Will he respond? Troll babies, good evening. All right, Trevor, I got your donation early, sir. Let's get it cracking tonight. He says centers started shooting threes because of Shaq. That's a fact, sir. That's a fact. Let's talk about let's talk about it tonight. Gangs of love, good to see you, sir. He says Shaq is an honorary Crip too. And I don't want to talk too crazy, but Shannon Sharpe, I think the right thing for him to do would be to really sincerely and humbly apologize, because things could get messy. And I don't want to promote that. Okay, let's get some phones cracking here early. Hold on a second. Area code 272. Good evening. We're talking about the Shaquille O'Neal diss track or game. Dropping a diss track.
Yeah, what's going on, Star? What's going on?
How are you, sir?
Yeah, I'll be honest. I'm happy Shaq said something to him because the reality is Shannon Sharpe been smelling himself since he had that big interview with
Cat Williams.
With Cat Williams.
Yeah.
Because he's been talking about it. He talked about the numbers, the money he made off it and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So that's why he wants the contact because he's seen the money he made already. So he wanted to keep it up.
Yeah.
And for him to go, see, this reminds me of the same situation that happened with him and Skip Bayless. When it comes to certain people in the sports, he's going to have something negative to say if they're not his favorites.
Okay.
And that's what everybody's starting to catch on about him. Because before this, if you go back, Gillen Arenas had to check him because Gillen Arenas and Chad Ochocinco had to check Shannon Sharpe, Shay said whatever you want to call him.
Right.
Because he said something about Melo when Melo said something about
Carmelo, sir. For those who don't know, Carmelo Anthony.
Right. Carmelo Anthony he was on his podcast and he said he wouldn't let Anthony Edwards bully ball him like he did Kevin Durant.
Right.
So Shannon Sharpe went on his show and he tried to discredit Melo and try to throw Melo back in. Ochocinco and Gillen Arenas like, nah, bro, that's not what he was trying to say. You got the message wrong. They had to clear it up with him. Mm-hmm. So this not the first time he's been doing this. He's been known to be sassy and nasty now, messy. But it comes down to, I'm happy Shaq. And if anybody listens to that interview, Shaq didn't disrespect nobody. All he said was, I thought he should have got the MVP over.
Well, hang on a second, sir. How do you pronounce his name? Nikola, how do you say his last name? Jokic?
Joker, yeah.
Jokic?
Yeah, Jokic. Okay. Yeah, that's his name, Jokic.
Okay.
And all he said was he felt Jokic shouldn't got the reward.
Right.
But he didn't disrespect him or nothing like that.
No.
He wasn't doing nothing like that. And then you get Shannon Sharpe going his show. He bringing up Shaq's stats. He's saying with Kobe, God bless Kobe. Kobe was saying, and Shaq responded.
Yeah,
you can't talk about that, man. And this is the thing with the sports media now, because this is what it is: the sports media and podcast.
Right.
If you in football and you know football, that's your lane.
That's your lane.
The problem with a lot of these sports people and a lot of people going in the podcast to salute all of them. But they're going into different lanes and talking about people they don't know and talking about sports y'all don't know.
Yeah.
Shannon Sharpe, you never was a basketball player. How you going to sit here and talk about basketball players?
Yeah.
You understand? So that's where the disconnection is.
If I can jump in for a second. Sports radio is the biggest moneymaker with regards to quote unquote radio. It bills far superior to urban and hip hop, sports radio. So yes, you got guys who, were subpar. Not saying Shannon Sharpe is subpar, but you got subpar former players, retired now, critiquing people who have won rings. Hall of Famers. This is how big the industry is. They just want people to talk motor mouths. So I like Shannon Sharpe, but I think that he has gone into an area that could be costly.
Not only that,
does Shannon rap? Are we going to see a response from Shannon?
Hell no, he ain't gonna rap. He ain't gonna do that. I'm gonna tell you what I think is gonna happen. This is my opinion.
Come on.
Stephen A. Smith have a relationship with Shaq. That's his boy. Yeah. I think Stephen A. Smith going into course in that situation. He going step in to get them to piece it up and stuff like that because Shaq and Stephen A. Smith, that's his boy. Shannon Sharpe is his boy. But I don't know. You ever know Marcel? He got his own podcast. He used to be an NFL player. He said something that was real true. He said he told the story about ESPN, how shady and grimy ESPN is. He said, listen, if you're not going to go on that show and say something negative about other players,
right,
they will get you off of that show in a minute. They will get you off that show.
That's a fact.
And he said that's why a lot of them stay on that show. Kendrick Perkins, if you remember Kendrick Perkins on the show.
Yes.
Remember, Kendrick Perkins wasn't talking like a year ago, 2 years ago.
He's always talking crazy.
Yo, but listen, Star, when he first started, he wasn't talking crazy or saying negative stuff about players.
Right.
But all of a sudden now, a year later, somebody must have said something to him, because now they be discrediting everybody, disrespecting him. So it goes back to Marcel. When Marcel said what he said, I was like, oh, it sounds right what he said, because Jalen Rose, Jason Williams, all of them said they do not be wanting to feed into what they be wanting them to do. Yeah. And 9 out of 10, they want you to kick the black brothers down that's in the sports.
Let me jump in right there. Now, I don't usually accuse people of this. Is Shannon Sharpe, caping for the white boy? Why would he even feel the need to call Shaq a hater? He called him a hater, quote unquote hater. Was he caping for the white boy? And if so, does he do that more than often?
You know what is so crazy about him? People knew who Shannon Sharpe was for Denver Broncos back in the day, John Elway. You know what I'm saying? The story. We knew who he was, right? We knew who he was when he was on Skip Bayless show. Skip Bayless gave him an alley, gave him a chance on his show, right? Nobody was paying attention to Skip. Nobody was paying attention to Shannon Sharpe until him and Skip Bayless went at it. He took his glasses off and it hit the social media. Let's be honest, nobody was really paying attention like that. And then what happened when him and Skip Bayless, it went to social media, he got a little buzz. And this is a crazy part. The same person you dissing right now, Shaq, was the same person on TNT was like, nah, I wouldn't let that ride. If I was Shannon Sharpe, you're a grown man. You don't never let another man disrespect.
Sticking up for him. Now, hang on, listen, I gotta take other calls. What do you think of the diss track? Did you hear it? I want to bring it back to the Bulls.
I heard the whole thing. Listen, the first part was but that second part, he went in on, and Rick got to respond. But I think Rick Ross is not going to respond. But I want him to respond, because now you dealing with somebody that's a different type of rapper. He can rap. So now we want to see Rick Ross talk your shit. We don't want to talk about, you're going to talk about the money. We don't care about the money. Right. We want you to rap.
Okay. All right. I got to take the call, sir. Thank you.
You too.
Okay. Shannon Sharpe. I think he stepped out of his lane. Yes, he is a sports commentator, but Shaq's numbers and career highlights are just incredible. Shannon Sharpe, in case you don't know, drafted in 1990, round 7, 192nd pick. Okay. And again, listen, I remember watching him play. He played 14 seasons in the NFL. John Elway had to do a lot of talking to him during the game, explaining the routes and who to block, and just, so it's not like he was a Jerry Rice or I'm going way far back, Dave Casper or Fred Biletnikoff. He wasn't one of those guys. He wasn't even a Deion Sanders. Deion, the reason why Deion is coaching, one of the reasons why he's coaching college football now is because mathematically he's a beast. Okay. Shannon Sharpe is a great talker. But I think he stepped out of his league, and I would like to see him apologize, because again, Shaq was a problem. Anybody go really, really back with Shaquille O'Neal when he played with the Orlando Magic? He wasn't smiling as he became this smiling, lovable guy when he played with the Lakers. And let me just say this for those who may or may not know. He and Kobe Bryant complemented each other. They needed each other. And yes, Kobe went on to get 2 more rings without Shaq, and Shaq went on to get another ring without Kobe with the Miami Heat with D. Wade. Hey, D. Wade. But they complemented each other, and that period with the Lakers is what really turned Shaq around to become the fun, guy that we know now. But prior to all of that, he was putting hands on people. Hey, Valerie, I got your donation. Thank you for tapping in. Okay. I want people to call in about this game diss track. I listened to it, and I don't want to be biased. Anybody got any thoughts? Will Rick Ross respond? I don't even think Rick Ross will respond. He was eating a bowl of cereal. I think it was he eating the cereal out of a Louis Vuitton bowl? Sheesh. Let's go to area code 310. Hey, good evening. Friday night at Speed on the Topics. 310. Yes, no,
hey,
maybe.
What up? I'm here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Good evening, sir. How are you?
I'm all right, good brother. How are you?
I'm not your brother, sir. It's Friday. Please don't push my button too early. Where do you want to start?
Well, I mean, where would you like me to start? I think that, Game, I don't think Game should have got involved. I think Game should have just stayed out of it. I don't know why he felt like he had to come to the rescue. And his days is numbered. He washed up. I don't feel like he should have even got in it at all.
Damn.
I'm from LA. I'm from Watts.
Oh, Jesus.
And the fact that when we listen in the game, get involved in something, man, it seems like anybody will do anything just to be heard,
Mm-hmm. You're from,
and then also too.
You're from Watts, you say, and you're saying Game is washed up. You're saying this, not me.
Yeah, Game been washed up. Man, Game ain't no out here.
Come on.
We don't look at. We from the West Coast. You know what I'm saying? We don't look at Game, I guess, like the rest of the world. We don't know what this is and why anybody would even take that seriously, man.
Can I add some bullshit to the table, sir? It's Friday night. I'm sipping a nigga High Life beer. Game he's still got to pay that girl from that reality show. He's got a $7 million judgment. She keeps garnishing anything he makes. She went after the goddamn Cash App. She went after all sorts of shit. Got this nigga scrambling like 2 eggs on Sunday morning. So he's trying to survive. So more than likely, that's why he did it. He put out the diss track to try and get his weight back up. Do you think Rick Ross will respond?
I hope not. You know what I'm saying? I think that would bring down Rick Ross' value. You know what I mean? To respond to Game, man. Who is Game?
Right,
right. Rick Ross doing his thing, man. And for him to stoop down to this dude's level, because this dude, and you talking about the $7 million judgment, I don't even think he had $7 million when the judgment went through.
No.
So, that just to be honest with you. Yeah. You know what I mean? I don't think he had no money.
No, he signed everything over to WAC 100. Signed everything over
I think WAC just used that little moment for him to get in and go from there and do what he's doing now. But I don't believe there was really no money involved. And Game was through when he started dissing Dr. Dre and Eminem and Jimmy Iovine, and so he was done.
Yeah,
you could have stuck forking him, and you'd have got all air. You wouldn't have heard a cha-ching. You wouldn't even heard no pennies come out of his pocket. So you could shake him and rattle him.
Now, hang on a second. Have you heard the diss track? Have you actually heard it?
The Game diss track?
Yeah.
Yeah, I turned it right off as soon as I heard it, too. Yeah. I hate to hear his voice. I don't even like to hear him rap.
Damn.
You know what I mean? Because he's, hey, can I just say this one little phrase without being cut off?
Yeah, go ahead.
Huh?
Well, yeah, but just be careful with the algorithms. Just be careful, please.
Okay, well, the man been riding peanuts forever.
Oh, wow.
You know what I'm saying? I don't feel like the man has ever really been a true hip hop MC. Just because you can rap bars and all that other shit, that don't make you a real rapper or a hit. Like a true veteran. You know what I mean? Like, you got to have some type of integrity about yourself. You know what I mean?
Let me ask you a question. Now, you say you're from Watts. Are you still there or born in Watts? You said Watts, right?
Born and raised in Watts. We right here, right now.
Oh, okay.
We here.
I was at the Watts Towers. Hang on. I was at the Watts Towers when I took my road trip. Did they finish the construction down there at the Watts Towers from last year?
No, that's the beauty of the Watts Towers. It's never been finished. It's always just gonna be what it is, the Watts Towers.
But when I was there, hang on, when I was there, they had the gate around it. I was standing right there. I was smoking a cigar. They had the gate around everything, and then I went inside the little court area. So they have not finished renovating them?
No, I mean, the gates are still up.
Wow.
People can come, they can take pictures and all that, and it's good.
Okay.
But
okay.
Like I said, at the end of the day, I think Rick Ross would be a fool to respond to the game.
Wow.
Wow.
Okay.
Listen,
Sheesh.
that's like Michael Jordan responding to a text from Bill Laimbeer talking about get on the court.
Hey, before you go, one more question. I don't mean to really like bring up old shit, but the picture of Game in that thong, supposedly he was a male stripper back in his early days. Is that picture real? Is that real?
Yeah, that's it. That's real. As real as he can get, man.
Wow.
And I mean, the truth is the truth. Man, ain't nobody trying to hear Game.
Yeah.
Game will look for any opportunity to be heard and seen, man.
Right. Okay. I appreciate the call, man. Thank you. Yes, sir. Thank you. Okay. All right. Salute. Troll babies, you guys ever see the picture with Game in a thong? It's in a club. He was popping his booty for females back in the days. People have always said, that was photoshopped. And I remember he was on some reality show. What was that show, Troll Babies, where he had blonde hair and he was simping for some girl. This is going way far back. Guys, sit tight. I see you on the phones and the Cash App. Hold on a second. It's Friday, goddamn. I'm sipping Miller High Life. White boy Rory says I'll be home soon after the Knicks game. No, the show wasn't called RuPaul's Drag Race. No, this was some old shit. Oh my goodness. Let me go to area code. Hold on a second. 651. Thank you for your patience. Good evening. We're talking about the Shaquille O'Neal diss track going at Shannon Sharpe. Are you up to speed? 651.
Man, it's crazy. The Shannon, and man, the thing is about it. I've been seeing Shaq. I don't really. So you're saying that this dude Shannon Sharpe, he was just went out the blue and just saying shit. Like, I heard what he had to say, but the thing is, now I think that Shaq be wanting to do shit.
Well, hang on a second, sir. It's Friday night. I'm with the bullshit on a Friday. Let me ask you a question. Do you tuck your penis with Scotch tape or duct tape? What do you tuck your penis with?
I don't.
All right. Get your slow ass off my line, calling up in here, stumbling and fumbling and killing the goddamn vibe. If you haven't heard the goddamn track, just sit back and listen to the show. Good evening. 804, good evening. Friday night. I'm talking about the diss track. Get up to speed. 804. Yes, no, maybe?
Hey, what's up, OG?
Yes, sir. How are you? It's cracking.
Yeah, I'm decent, man. I'm decent.
Okay.
Hey, look, I heard the diss track, man. And I had to agree with the caller from Cali. I don't know what he was doing.
Well, now, so we got two diss tracks: the Shaquille O'Neal diss track or the Rick Ross. Game's diss track and Rick Ross. Which one you talking about?
The game.
Okay, come on.
I knew Game was a whole ass nigga when he got that butterfly tattoo, and he covered it up. See, he was shaking in. So, but yeah, but see, I don't know if you feel like how I feel.
Come on.
I'm like, where is he even coming from? Like, did Rick Ross mention him? Like,
no.
But then you brought up a good point, and I was going to elaborate on that. He still got to pay the old girl from the reality show.
He's working for a bitch. Let's keep it real. He's working for a bitch. Working for the bitch. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now let me ask you this, because does this have anything to do with Freeway Ricky Ross from back in the 80s, from my era, who I interviewed back in 2010? Does this have to do with him being a West Coast nigga and game now, working for a bitch, trying to get his ducats up? and trying to just create a beef because Rick Ross was just laughing as he's holding the fucking Louis Vuitton cereal bowl. Is that what this is about?
As he do, yeah. He's trolling as he should be.
As
I think Game just simping for a Canadian Jew.
Whoa.
Yeah, I'm on the bullshit just like you. Friday night.
Let's go.
Drinking it.
Let's go.
I'm eating Velveeta mac and cheese out of pot. I'm drinking Guinness.
Okay.
I'm lit right now.
Okay. so
and
yeah.
This number 9 with the lights out, by the way.
Okay. So yeah, man, this is all just trying to get his ducats together. I don't think Rick Ross will respond. If he does, it'll be like it'll be some charity bars, be some charity shit. Go ahead, finish up.
But to me, honestly, I think if he respond, honestly, if you, from my opinion, I think this might get personal. To be honest with you,
well,
because you just see Rick Ross, you dealing with Florida and you dealing with California niggas. Mm-hmm. This shit gonna get personal right here, if you ask me.
Well, listen, man, I'm not trying to do too much on the microphone tonight, but I don't think Game is really about that type of life. I mean, he's big, tall nigga, you know what I'm saying? But I remember him in a club, and correct me if I'm wrong, and them little Chicago niggas, Lil Durk, when Durk was a little nigga, Lil Durk is looking up at him saying, "This ain't what you want. This ain't what you want." And that nigga was shaking in his boots. You ever seen that video? That video?
No, I didn't. But I did see the video years ago when he co-signed Chris Brown with that blood shit.
Man, I'm talking about them little Chirac niggas back in the days in the club with Game, and Game looked sad. And they said, "This ain't what you want." and he walked away. But anyway, listen, man, I appreciate the call, man. Thank you for tapping in.
Already.
Okay. Anybody ever seen that video? I does this. I watch everything. I watched it. Well, them little niggas, what club was that? They had a little back and forth, the Game and Lil Durk. And they ran down on his big tall ass in the club. That nigga was popping. Hang on a second. Okay, sir, I can't click on links right now. What is it? Something about Drake and Kendrick Lamar? Sir, the beef, I think it's over with. But I don't even use the word beef. Hold on a second. Let me go to TMZ. I got time tonight. TMZ. Florida Boy J, are you out there, sir? Are you out there? Oh, my boy Scott Stapp from Creed. His wife has filed for divorce. Well, she hung in there with him as long as she could. Guys, Drake is supposedly selling his home. Where's that goddamn story? Okay, here it is. Right, let me bring a call and then I'll come back to this. Okay, number 9 with the light stout. Thank you for your donation, sir. I see he says, I think Shannon Sharp soup coolers got away from him criticizing Shaq. Yeah. And, yes, Shaq is older. He's learned how to harness his ego. However, a tiger cannot change its stripes. And I say that, not to try and make him out to be a bad guy, but that's how we knew him. When he was coming up as that, how do you say that? A troubled youth. He's putting hands on niggas. When he got to, I forget what college it was. They were trying to work with him. Tajan, I got your donation. Shannon versus Shaq. What an absolute coon fest. And I'm sad to say that I'm all in. Landau, got your donation. Thank you for tapping in. Mr. Controversy said, God loves you, Star. Well, sir, if you feel that there is some omnipotent power, that's fine. Salute to you, as long as you don't try and push your belief or system of belief on me. That's fine. Yeah, yes. The name of the show that Game was on back in the days was called Change of Heart. Did he have a nose earring? I know his hair was blonde, and he was sitting there, and some girl was curving him. Yeah, that's where he came from, and he was clapping his booty. He was a stripper for females. And then he flipped it and he became a killer. Let's go to area code 609. Good evening. Please be mindful of the language. I would like to monetize this particular stream. 609. Yes, sir. Good evening. Good evening.
Get up. What up? What up? So, Star, I just want to add some context to the conversation here. I'm going to make this quick. I'm going to be in and out like a robbery. Now, I'm from Trenton, New Jersey. You might want to ask me where I'm from.
Okay.
And the only thing I'm going to say is this. Now, I'm going to touch on both topics. Like I said, I'm going to be in and out like a robbery. Now, we got to put some respect on Shannon Sharp's name. Like you said, he was a 7th round draft pick. This man is in the Hall of Fame.
Yes.
He got 3 rings on 2 different teams. 2 with the Broncos, 1 with the Ravens, and he went back to the Broncos again. Now, the problem with Shannon is this. He, in his older age, Shannon is a back country boy. He a backwoods country boy. Now, that's
what I like about him, sir, and I've said that early on in his sports commentary career.
That's my family's from. That's where my family's from. That's what I respect about him.
Yeah.
One thing he got to understand is, see, he came at Shaq in the cold current. You can come at somebody in a warm current or a cold current. He came at Shaq in the cold current by saying he's a hater. Now, he should have prefaced it in a different way, because you got to understand this. Before that happened, earlier this week, you got to remember that Shaq's wife, Shawnee, came out. Oh, I never really loved this nigga.
Oh,
all these kids.
Yeah. Well, I don't even want to give her any acknowledgement. We touched on that the other day. Please.
I'm trying to set the tone why Shaq's so sensitive, because Shannon spoke on that the night before.
Right.
Before that.
So he's got a personal issue. He's on some hoe ass shit now. Is that what this is about?
No, I'm not saying he on some hoe ass. See, here's the problem with Shannon. Everything that come out in the media, because Shannon is the media, and because he got the #1 podcast in the world right now, right. So he says, over Joe Rogan, ever since the Cat Williams interview, everything that comes out that's related to a sports figure, Shannon puts himself in the position of saying, oh, I can speak on that, because they talked about sports.
Yeah.
And so since Shawnee came out and said this,
yeah.
Then he talked about that the night before, and then the next night, on the next episode, he gonna come back out and try to say, oh, Shaq's a hater.
Yeah.
So I know Shaq, if I was Shaq, I would be like, yo, nigga, I was #1 pick.
Right.
What did you talking about?
Right.
And then you're going to talk about my wife the night before, talk about how she don't love me. Now you're going to come back the next night on the next episode, talk about I'm a hater.
Right.
So you know that had to touch a nerve. Now, I feel as though Shaq was well within his right to rebuttal that, and Shaq should come out and say and respond to that.
Right.
I don't see Shaq as a hater, because Shaq only got 1 MVP. Now, Shannon was right in the regard the fact that, hey, Shannon, because even Kobe said it himself, Shaq, you didn't put in enough. You didn't work out like you were supposed to. We were supposed to have a 3-peat like Jordan had a 3-peat. But they only got the 3 rings. And then, some personal disputes happened with them. We're not going to go into that. And then Shaq took it to where he took it to. Now, that's on that topic, unless you want to go into that. But I'm going to go to the next topic, unless you want to expound on that. But like I told you,
listen. I'm letting you talk. I'm hearing you out. And listen, keep in mind, Shannon Sharpe is one of the greats. Yes, but I'm 60. If I were to throw a name at you, let's say Marlon Briscoe, would you know that name, Marlon Briscoe?
No, I never heard of Marlon Briscoe.
No.
What team he played for?
Well, listen, when you get time, if you're a football guy, he's so important. Not just
I'm a football guy.
Okay, not just because he was a black quarterback with the Denver Broncos in 1968, but the fact that he played different positions. So yes, in the modern era,
right.
Shannon Sharpe. Yes, you guys, top 20, top 10. I get it. I get it, but older people have seen other people play, and we keep into or take into account those who were architects. I just wanted to say that because it's not like I'm trying to in any way, shape, or form say that Shannon Sharpe wasn't the truth. No, he was a ship. He's in my top 50, but not top 20. Go ahead.
So salute to you, Star. So just so you understand where I'm coming from, okay. I'm 53.
Okay,
I'm 53. I might not sound like it. I'm 53 years old. I never heard of Marlon Briscoe.
Marlon Briscoe.
Just so we understand. Yeah. Yes, sir. Now, let me go into this next topic because, like I said, I'm trying to be in and out like a rabbit. I got the breezy waiting on me.
Go ahead.
I'm about to go take a shower. You know what I mean? I'm already getting right. So, I'm trying to, like I told you.
Go ahead.
But let me touch on this game situation now. Let me add some context to this game situation. Now, here's where I'm going to tell you why Game is doing what he's doing. Now, Game is managed by WAC 100. Yeah. WAC 100 is partners with Birdman. Rick Ross, when he first came out and he dissed Drake,
right,
he disrespected Birdman's dead mom, Miss Brenda.
Oh, boy.
And talking about, nigga, put it on Brenda. Because when Birdman came out and said he was supporting Drake no matter what he do, he was like, well, put it on Brenda. Say it on Brenda's name.
Okay.
And everybody know that Birdman don't play around like that. But we all know that so we all know in this day and age, you can't get on social media, none of these situations that's controlled by the government and the corporations. Mm-hmm. You can't, some niggas is not smart enough to know that you can't just jump out there and be like you in the streets.
Right.
So behind the scenes, here's what the play is. The play is this. The play is that Birdman being the him, and Wack already said this on Clubhouse, like when that shit first happened. He already said Birdman ain't gonna play about his mom, and Rick Ross should be.
All right, sir. Can you get to the point respectfully because you said you were going to be in and out? Did WAC 100, aka Clayface, did he put Game up to this so he can pay his bills?
Birdman put the play in with WAC to say, "Yo, come at this nigga so it don't never come back to me."
Got you.
So this is the reason he's doing what he's doing. So that's the reason why Game. And he got hit. The beat is hot on that track. Game not hot. The beat is hot, and everybody already know he's trying to copy Kendrick's flow by switching over the soul beats and the samples. He's just not a hot rapper.
Got you.
So let me let you go.
Right. Thank you, man.
To my spot.
Yes, sir.
Salute.
Okay. Yun, I got your donation. Folks, at the top of the live chat, did I pin the PayPal link? Because some people don't have Cash App, and if you want to contribute to the show, you can use the PayPal link. Hold on a second. Did I pin? Okay, I did pin it. Thank you. It says Super Chat with Star. You can either use Streamlabs or the PayPal link, okay? Yun says, do you remember the face that Jimmy made when Cameron pulled up in that new Lambo? I don't, sir. No. Oh, wait a minute. Actually, yes, I do. You're talking about Jim Jones. Yeah, he looks salty. Wasn't that like last year or a year and a half ago? Thank you for bringing the bullshit to the table tonight, Yum. Thank you so much. G says, yo, Star, John Elway may have been repetitive telling Shannon Sharpe the plays, but Shannon Sharpe ran the routes, period. I agree. I've already said they complemented each other. Before Shannon Sharpe, Elway couldn't get the ring. I think I'm not, guys. What year did Elway win the first Super Bowl? I forget. But thank you for your donation. Elway used to rifle the ball too goddamn hard into people's chests. Let me see. Let me Google just to be safe. What year did they win the first Super Bowl? Because I forget how many times they made it after they won the AFC Championship games, and then they were choking in the Super Bowl? Let me look at that on my own whilst I bring in a caller. Area code 779. Good evening. Are you there? 779 12.
Yo, what up, Star?
Yes, sir. How are you?
Good. What's up, old man?
Mm-hmm. You're on a speakerphone, sir. That's not going to work for us. Would you care to make the adjustments?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. Where do you want to start? Good evening.
We'll start. We start with Shaq.
Did you hear the diss track?
Shaq said.
Did you hear the diss track?
Oh, the diss track. You talking about the game? The game needs to sit down, man.
No, sir. Shaquille O'Neal's diss track.
Shaq diss track. Sharp. Yeah. You know, Shannon. Look, like your other caller said.
No, sir. Did you hear the track? That's my question. Did you hear it?
Yeah, I heard Shaq track. I heard it.
Go ahead.
I mean, he can't. You know, Shaq. He can't rap or nothing. It's terrible, but. I mean, I understand how you feel. You know, they talking about his wife, and the way Shannon talk, it's like he disregarding them. You know, like, oh, your wife said you don't love him. Oh, now you did. Like, why are you saying all that?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, don't disregard me and say my wife don't love me. Where's Shannon Sharp wife at? He don't even have a wife. Like, what are you talking about? My wife don't love me. Be quiet. That's how I would feel.
I think he dates white girls, sir, but he doesn't necessarily need a wife. But go ahead. Go ahead. You were saying?
I mean, yeah. I know. You don't get married. I don't think I would. I don't think I'm gonna ever try to get married. It don't make no sense to me. But
it doesn't make any sense getting married in today's day and time. But go ahead.
Yeah, it's just like why you talk and like you know you talk on the radio for years. You know about like context and how people say things. It's the way you say it.
Right.
It's like, you know. Oh, you got feelings. Oh, man, what you talking about? Shaq work, and then he's talking about he lazy. Yeah, Shannon Sharp may have a better physique, but I ain't never met a person worth almost $1 billion who lazy. I don't know about you. You got some money too, Star. Ain't nobody worth $1 billion. Ain't nobody worth $1 billion and they lazy.
Yeah,
I don't know about that. I don't know about them.
Well, listen.
I just think
if I can jump in, I'm gonna let you finish up. Yeah, I mean, it sounded like it was coming from a place of being overly critical. And I haven't even read through Shaquille O'Neal's career highlights yet. I mean, it sounded like maybe he's just a little too full of himself since the Cat Williams interview. He's doing a little too much. Sometimes you got to pull back and take some time off. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, everybody get their fame. Like this probably I mean, obviously from the football, this is the most attention Shannon has ever got. He's on there with Stephen A. So he's feeling himself. I don't blame the man. He's feeling himself, but he gonna learn like when they was calling him gay, and he didn't want nobody to call him gay. That's why people call you gay, because you don't want nobody to say nothing about you, but you could tell me my wife don't love me. Ooh. You could say all this to me. And
Great point.
Nah, bro. Don't work like that, bro. But yeah, I'm going to let you go, Star, man. Thanks for taking the call.
Yes, sir. Salute. Thank you. Okay. 210, good evening. Are you there? Thank you for your patience. Talking about the Shaquille O'Neal diss track directed at Shannon Sharp. 210. Yes, no, maybe?
Hey, thanks. Can you hear me okay?
Hey, how are you, man?
Pretty good. I heard about 5 seconds of the diss track. I had to turn it off. I couldn't really listen to the whole thing. But with regard to Shannon Sharp's comments on Shaq, they stem from Shaq's interview with Jokic, the MVP.
Yes.
And I think it rubbed Shannon Sharp the wrong way, because Shannon can kind of relate to Jokic. Shannon wasn't the smartest. He was athletically gifted, but he had to really work for everything, because like you were saying, Elway had to carry him through a lot of the things and maybe help him read the playbook, etc. Yeah. So where a lot of things lacked, hard work taken, to consideration for Shannon's career. And that's the same thing with Jokic. So he could relate to Jokic. And I think where he messed up was talking about Shaq's work ethic and calling him lazy at times, when really the only reason Shaq could have won it a ton of times, the MVP, but the only reason why he didn't, and Shannon didn't talk about this, was because him and Kobe canceled each other out.
Good point.
That is the only reason
Good point.
why
Good point.
he didn't win those MVPs. Michael Jordan could have won a ton of MVPs. LeBron could have won a ton of MVPs. But it's who's the best player on the best team that year, not who's the best
Individual
athlete or individual player. That's what it is, and Shaq getting into Shannon Sharpe's accolades and lack of accolades, etc. I mean, it didn't really have anything to do with it. And I know a lot of people are saying it could stem from his nightcap the day before talking about Shawnee, but he gave Shaq a lot of grace in that. And he felt as though Shawnee was wrong for putting that out there. But he did keep saying she loved him, but she wasn't in love with him.
Can I jump in right there? There?
I'm sorry.
No, stay with me. I like your commentary. For those of us who are not in the world of sports commentary, sports talk, we can say things about Shaq and Shawnee because we're not close to him. We don't know. We're speculating. We're guessing. If you ask me, Shannon Sharpe shouldn't have even brought it up about Shawnee O'Neal. Why, man? Why? Are you now on some chatty patty gossiping type shit? Yes, you're popping. You're lit. But why even bring Shawnee up in her comments about Shaq? Are you a tea sipper now? I'm talking about Shannon Sharpe. Are you where the fuck you going? But now let's go back. Let's go back for a second. Shaquille O'Neal has won more than just 4 NBA championships. He's got a stellar career and had a stellar career and career highlights. I haven't even read them yet. He has won the hearts of people. He's a really likable guy. Wouldn't you agree, Shaquille O'Neal?
I would say that he is very likable. He's transcended.
He wasn't always like that. He wasn't always that guy, and he has turned it around. I salute him for turning it around because, again, you don't have to know this. You don't have to go too far back. He was a troubled youth in Newark, New Jersey, and when he was playing basketball, if memory serves me correctly, he was playing by himself a lot. He wasn't playing with a bunch of teams prior to moving to somewhere, whether it was, I think it was Germany. So he has turned it around and won the hearts of the people. Go ahead.
Won the hearts of the people. And you know what it was? I think a lot of movies helped the public look over some of that stuff. You know what I mean? And he's just a huge figure. I mean, we're talking about the Shazam.
Oh my
he's
God.
A big, lovable genie.
Right.
We're talking about Blue Chips.
Oh my God.
A big, lovable,
right,
lovable guy. All these movies, he's big and lovable. His interview that he did, his 30 that he did with Penny Hardaway, it was a lovable interview. People when they see him on TV, I mean, they see a big, lovable guy. He's always kissing babies and all that other stuff, But I'll tell you something, and
it's called Kazam, 1996. Kazam.
Kazam. Yeah, I'm sorry, I said Shazam.
The Marvel movie, Scary Movie 4, 2006. He was also in the Lego Movie. He used his voice for that. 2014. Steel in 1997. I think that was all by design to soften up his big man terror aura that he used to have. Go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. But I'll tell you what, though, he had a fear when he was on the Orlando Magic, and that fear was Penny Hardaway. He was scared of being overshadowed by Penny Hardaway.
I disagree. I disagree with that. But go ahead. I disagree with that.
Orlando would have ended up paying him. There was some type of issue with money or something like that at the time, and I don't know who messed up, not giving him everything that he wanted at the time, but he would have eventually got it. But he admitted to it on his 30 for 30, and he apologized to Penny Hardaway for being too selfish and didn't want to share the spotlight with Penny. and going to LA and taking the easy route out is how he put it on his 30 for 30.
Okay.
You know, so what Shannon's saying is partially true, but he didn't really touch on the real reason why he didn't win the MVP thing. He didn't give Shaq enough grace to say he was the most dominant force that the NBA has seen in a long time. Stature, all that. I mean, Michael Jordan is the best player, but stature, all that good stuff, you know. And he didn't give him the grace in saying that. He could have won all, you know.
Yeah. He didn't mention 3-time NBA Finals MVP. He didn't mention that. He didn't mention 2000 NBA Most Valuable. Well, he did mention that Most Valuable Player 2000. 15-time NBA All-Star. 3-time NBA All-Star Game MVP. 8-time All NBA First Team, and the list goes on and on and on. Listen, man, I got to take other calls, man. Thank you. Got to take other calls.
All right.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. 4-time NBA champion. These are some of Shaquille O'Neal's highlights, as I was saying. NBA All Rookie First Team, 1993. 2-time NBA scoring champion, 1995 and the year 2000. Retired jerseys, number 32 by the Miami Heat. Retired Orlando Magic, number 32. Retired jersey, number 34, Los Angeles Lakers. Retired LSU jersey, number 33. USA Basketball Male Athlete of the Year, 1994. McDonald's All-American Game Co-MVP. NCAA Blocks Leader, 1992. NCAA Rebounding Leader, 1991. I like Shannon Sharpe, you know. Reminds me of some of my Geechee family, but I think he better be careful. Shaq doesn't slap fire out of him like he did Kobe, and then Shannon Sharpe becomes a meme, and then all that Cat Williams shit will be a thing of the past. Guys on the screen, youtube.com/@Coffee Chat with Camille. Okay. Camille, are you out there? I want to get you back on the line when you get time. Okay. Sit tight on the phones a second, guys. I was trying to do a couple things here. Okay, White Boy Rory, I see you. Sit tight. Alejandro, I got your donation. Thank you for tapping in. Okay. Gangs of Love, I got your donation. Thank you so much. Okay, are you on the line? Where's Gangs of Love? Area code 832. Hey, man, thank you for your continued support. Gangs of Love was cracking.
What's up, big homie? What's up, Star?
Okay. Do you want to cam up or do you just want to call in tonight?
Nah, I'm going to just call in tonight. I wanted to chime in on Shaq. Please. So the last caller that just called in, he was saying that Shaq is this great, lovable guy. But in reality, Shaq is a hater because if you remember right, you remember JaVale McGee? He used to play for the Golden State Warriors, and then he played on a whole bunch of teams. But they used to have this thing on TNT called Shaq and a Fool. Okay. And Shaq used to be like going in on JaVale McGee. He was talking so bad about him that JaVale McGee's mom called Shaq's mom and asked her to tell Shaq to stop bullying him. So, and like you can look that up. That's a fact. And then Shaq was hating on Dwight Howard, like big time, because Dwight Howard was the man in Orlando and he was wearing the Superman cape. And Shaq was hating on him when he won a ring for the Lakers. So, and then when Kobe died, him and Shaq hadn't talked in almost a year.
Right. So,
you know, Shaq has this image of being this great guy, which he is in the public, but don't get it messed up. Shaq is he's a whole ass nigga. He really is.
Wow,
he is
Jesus.
a hater.
Woo, shit. Why?
Look, I'll give you another one.
Stay with me. Now I can hang on. I can respect what you just said. But now, do you think the term hater fits Shaq, or was he that dominant and that good to the point where he can talk like that to people and about them?
So on the basketball court, you can't deny nothing that he did. He changed the game, and like honestly, you'll never see a guy I think as dominant as him. He couldn't shoot for anything, but Kobe didn't break Shaq's scoring record to his last 2 years. And mind you, Kobe shot threes, like everything. Shaq was only putting in putbacks and dunks, so you can't take that away from him. He has a valid point on saying how good that he was. Like you gotta honor what he says. Is he was actually right about Shane Alexander or whatever his name is. He should have won the MVP. But Shaq is a hater. Like there's no ifs and buts about Shaq being a hater. Yep.
You
ask some of your
hang on. I want you to speak. I'm not asking anybody. I want you to speak. You know, you may have a valid point there. But now with regards to Kobe, you mentioned Kobe. You know, they complemented each other. They needed each other at that point in time because, you know, Kobe came out of high school. So Kobe didn't have the mental conditioning and the training that a college basketball player had, you know, playing in the NCAA. And then when you get to the pros, he was a very young guy, you know, and he needed time to put it together. So would you not agree that Shaq and Kobe needed each other and then complemented each other? I mean, yes, they were competitive, but what about that theory?
I agree with you 100% as far as, I won't say they needed each other. They played with each other. They gelled well. Why? Because Kobe was selfish. Shaq is selfish. And that's what happens when you put two alpha males together. But as your other caller also stated, Shaq wants to always be the man. He has an ego. When he was in at Orlando and he left, and the other caller said it because Penny was overshining him. And then when Kobe told him, hey man, get your fat ass in the gym and start working out, Shaq didn't like that. LA is like,
if Shaq would have stayed in Orlando,
man,
hang on. If he would have stayed in Orlando, would he have gotten a ring with Penny?
It's a possibility. Shoulda, coulda, woulda.
No.
Kobe won two without him.
No.
He won two without him.
Then never mind Kobe and the two that he won after he and Shaq, you know, played together. And that's why I say they needed each other to get to that point. Jordan had to go through that also. Jordan was the phenomenal fucking superstar that most of these people today don't know. Prior to him getting it together and beating the Lakers to get that first ring, Jordan didn't have I don't need to go back into Jordan, but do you think he would have gotten a ring if he would have stayed with Penny Hardaway? That's the question.
Yes and no. You know, the East is
either or. Come on, Gangs of Love.
That was unstoppable.
It's either or. And by the way, Rory wants to talk to you. Do you want Rory on the line? He wants to talk to you.
Nah, I don't feel like arguing the homosexuals tonight. I'm good. Okay. But when I get a chance to come up, I definitely will.
Okay, so all right. Well, listen, it's just my question, man, with regards to Penny Hardaway. I appreciate your call. Did you hear the game diss track at Rick Ross?
I did. I heard it this morning, and I'm a fan of, not a fan of the game, but I do like the game. He puts out great albums. The only problem with Mr. Taylor is that he is a clout chaser. Like, he kind of came in a little too late, but, you know, I heard some of the other callers saying that Game is probably the best rapper to come from the West Coast other than NWA, in my opinion. I actually like all his albums. They're solid. The dude can flow. His diss was good, but he is clout chasing. But at the end of the day, that's what it's about. I mean, you're trying to make as much money as possible and get out of it. But I did hear it. It was solid. It was just like the diss I did on Rory. It was solid.
Well, now, if you keep calling Rory,
shots fired.
If you keep calling Rory's name, I'm going to bring him in. You say you don't want to talk to him, but now you're taking shots at him. Which one is it?
Oh, this sucker.
What's up, gay leprechaun? What's going on? Why you want to talk to me?
Fake Compton sucker. You gay?
Why you want to talk to me?
You the one mad. You the one gay. You the one mad about Shaq hurting Dwight Howard's feelings. You the one capping. You the one up here caping for Dwight Howard. You getting all hating on Big Shaq. We love Big Shaq, man. Salute to Shaq. You hating on Shaq for getting out Dwight Howard and hurting his feelings. You talking about gay? You in the closet with unisex sunglasses on. and your wife down at the white man's church, right? And your wife a Jehovah's Witness, she down there with the white man all day while you in the closet. While you in the closet,
I'm gonna be that.
Your wife down there with the elders in the Jehovah's Witness church with the white man. Yeah, sucker. What? Don't be calling my name out. You a real sucker in real life. I'm not a sucker. I'm divorced.
Right, you done talking?
I live my life now. My kids are raised. I don't sit in no goddamn closet.
Rory,
I don't sit in no goddamn closet.
Let Gangs of Love respond. Let Gangs of Love respond.
He hurt the White Howard's feelings.
Hang on, hold on a sec. You have to let him respond, Rory. Let him respond. Gangs of Love.
Hey man, you keep my wife out your mouth. You know what I'm saying? But it's all good. We know where you live at in Chelsea. So when you get on that train,
why you keep saying that you ain't never showed up, bro? Why you keep saying that you ain't never showed up? I'm waiting for you, man.
You mad because we talking about your boyfriend, Dwight Howard?
As soon as I walk out the door, I'm waiting for your black ass. You come knock on the goddamn door. You know where I live.
Let us see your teeth.
Punk.
Hey,
you know where I live, punk. I'm never gonna move. I'm never gonna move. You know that? You know where I live? I'm never going to move. How about that? I'm never going to move.
Come up. Let us see your teeth right now.
Fuck
Let
you
us
doing?
See you smile one time.
Fuck you doing, man? Fuck you talking about?
Clown.
I take your teeth out. You ain't taking mine out. You know where I live.
Shit.
You ain't got no teeth. What are you talking about?
The White Howard.
You ain't even got no teeth.
Oh, you hurt the White Howard's feelings. How did the game to one of your favorite rappers? The Game is one of the best rappers on the West Coast. This sucker.
He's just like me.
Sucker.
He's just like me.
You probably just like the Game. You got shot and listened to some NWA. That's what happened to you. You talking shit just like you're talking shit to me, a real white boy. You got shot and you recuperated and listened to all the classic albums and thought you knew something about hip hop.
In your mouth too, straight up.
Bitch, I'm from the Bronx. I'm not a fake black guy from Compton.
You from Ireland, a place where you were starving from potatoes.
The fuck out of here,
man. People were starving from potatoes, you clown.
All right, guys.
Listen to this guy.
From New York.
Guys, I got to get back to the show.
Jehovah's Witness, man.
All right, listen, guys, hold on a second. Hold on.
Rory. I'm gonna slap your white ass.
Rory, sit tight.
Yeah, I'm going to slap you.
Rory on hold. All right, Gangs of Love, man. Thank you for your call, man. I'm going to get back to the topic, all right, man? Thank you for your support.
All right, appreciate you, Star.
Yes, sir. So, okay. Hold on a second, guys. All right, Rory, you there? Rory.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's up?
All right, I want to get back to the show.
Yeah, I didn't mean to.
Hang on.
I didn't mean to get your man.
I know.
That.
Hold on. I want to get back to the show, guys. Also on the screen, YouTube.com/@Spirit Smooth Tunes. Please go there. Great content, classic R&B and other music, soul and jazz as well. All right, Rory, fix the echo in the background. You got the headset on. Fix what you got going on, so we can get your commentary here.
Yes, that's crazy.
Right. You ready?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
I just think the Game thing is just, like a typical a lame LA West Coast thing, clout chasing. That's what they do. That's the difference between us and them here in New York and them out there. They run after Hollywood people, actors and rappers, and they run after them in the street. They want to get a picture and an autograph. And, in New York, we see them here. You might look at them and say, "Oh, they're so and so. Okay, cool." Anyway, and you keep it moving. If you're not making money with them, you're not doing any business with them. Give a fuck if that's some rapper.
You gotta watch that F-bomb, Rory. Gotta watch the F-bomb. Watch the F-bomb.
My bad. And to be honest with you, Star, as a New Yorker, most of the people I met from LA, personality-wise, whether it's women or men. Those people, they're a bunch of hand jobs. Those people are just a bunch of hand jobs. They have no personality. They're extremely superficial. They have absolutely no culture. You know, they're very far beyond their European roots. And
Jesus, where you going?
Those are the sadomasochists out there. Those are the and they're just clout chasers. They're lame. You know, they're left. I don't know why the game did a diss track on
Rick Ross.
The only reason he did that is because he's broke and he's a buster. You know, from LA. That's it. You know, this guy is another Fugazi. This is another fantasy rap guy, just like Rick Ross. He's nothing but a made up story. I got shot. No. When I was shot, I listened to all the classic records, and then all of a sudden I became an MC, and I was a rapper. That's a bunch of biggest bunch of bullshit I ever heard in my life. You know, I'm
going to jump in for a second, and I think that Game has gotten too much props, and he's never been one of my favorite West Coast rappers. I mean, you got a lot of guys before him: King T, Spice One, MC8, a lot of even Razkaz. A lot of these guys had actual bars. Game, and this is not to kick his back, and he came at a time when they needed a hero of sorts, and you had Dr. Dre behind him. I think he's overrated. I've always said that, overrated. What do you think about that?
Yeah, no, L.A. and California got a serious history of hip hop. Whether it's Cypress Hill,
yes, oh wow,
House of Pain, coach him out there, right? I mean, you're talking about major hip hop. Dre, of course, N.W.A., Ice Cube, all of them. But the people they've been putting front and forth now are like The Game and Kendrick Lamar, and it's just so watered down and corny, and it's like commercialized. They're lame. Their fans are lame, like Gangsta Love. He said The Game is one of the best rappers ever. He never even heard of the Alcoholics. Oh. He never even heard of
hieroglyphics.
He never heard of any dilated people. They got all types of hip hop out of West Coast.
Far side.
The hip hop, man. OPM was it underground hip hop. Mm-hmm. Mac Dre. They got lame guys like that.
Yeah.
That's the West Coast for you. They're just fans. They don't have any personality. They're just Hollywood sheep.
Okay.
And that's why I don't like the West Coast.
Now, let me ask you a question. Will
California in particular.
Will Rick Ross respond? That's the question. Will Rick Ross respond?
I don't know. He probably should respond because the two of those guys are like the number one in the fantasy rap genre. Rick Ross is named after a drug deal in L.A. that he don't know, that he got nothing to do with. His fat ass was a correction officer, and The Game is like a little brother. He's like Arnold to Willis. So Willis was in the Bloods, and now you got Arnold over here, and he's a fantasy rapper too. Right. So they're just clout chasers.
I would like to see Rick Ross respond. I would. I just say, I want to see him give Game some really hot bars. I would like to see that.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Whatever. We'll see.
All right, look, man.
Suckers on the West Coast. I swear to God.
Do you know that Drake?
All right, man.
No, stay with me. Do you know that Drake is selling his Beverly Hills estate? He just posted it. 10 bedrooms, 24,000 square feet, 22 bathrooms, 88 million.
Oh. All right. Well, what I did, I didn't hear about him selling his property, but what I did hear is that he was rolling with the Hells Angels. Yeah. And I'll say this, the Crips guy or whoever the hell Kendrick Lamar runs with, they got a hell of an issue if Drake got the Hells Angels on their side. It's going to be up, all the way up.
Okay.
If he goes to his white boy side, I'm always rolling with the Hells Angels now. How about that? Yeah, the Bloods or whatever, Compton Bloods he comes from. Yeah, Hells Angels run Cali, man. They run the West Coast. So yeah, that would be an issue.
That'd be an issue. Yeah. All right. Good to talk to you, man. Salute.
All right, so.
All right, Rory tapping in. Rondell, I got your donation. Thank you for your support. Okay, he says, let's go, Rory Bird. Somebody says Shaq versus Shannon feels like clickbait. Stephen A. Smith dropped a clip on YouTube. Okay, did you send the link to the Stephen A. Smith clip? I'm not going to go searching for it. I'll be honest with you. Thank you for your donation. Amir, I got your donation, sir. Thank you for your support. Amir, okay. I think I have a sponsor tapping in. Hold on a second. I'm looking for Alicia. Let me see if this is her right here. Area code 347 is that Alicia Burns from GuruBusinessCenter.com.
It sure is. Good evening, Star.
Hey,
how are you?
I'm good. Good to hear from you. You and I chopped it up earlier. Not that you have to be all in the know about Marilyn Mosby and what's going on with her and she's going to be sentenced, former state's attorney out of Baltimore. But I thought about you when I was talking about her, this week. Pardon me. Her husband, $45,000 lien, not paying the taxes and not telling her. You do a lot with tax restoration, yes?
Yes, I do. That's what I specialize in.
Okay.
Tax resolution cases.
Resolution, pardon me. Okay. Is it restoration? I'm going to get the wording right. I forget.
Resolution.
Resolution, pardon me. Okay. All right.
Yes, because I help people resolve their tax issues and tax cases.
Okay. So that's your website on the screen. You've called in before. What is tax resolution for those who don't know, please?
Tax resolution is pretty much people that are facing tax debt. If you already owe the IRS money, then you are in a tax resolution. If you are not in compliance, meaning up to date with your tax returns, right. If you're a year or two behind, then you're pretty much in a tax resolution. Mm-hmm. So yeah, pretty much when you owe tax debt, you're in a tax resolution, pretty much. So how it works is once you are in a tax resolution, you would want to seek a professional like me. Mm-hmm. And what I do is I pretty much pull your information directly from the IRS and see what all information they have, and I get to figure out if you're currently up to date with your tax filings, if you're not, why you owe specific amounts and what was the cause of it. And from there, I can investigate and come up with a strategy to help get you on track.
Let me jump in for a second, because there are, we hear, from time to time about tax forgiveness and all this sort of jazz. Is there such a thing for tax forgiveness, whether it be school loans, business loans, if somebody, took out a loan and the business flopped, tax forgiveness if you didn't not just pay your taxes, but you never filed and you've got the penalties mounting and the interest. Can a tax forgiveness plan help you, or is that something someone should stay away from? Tax forgiveness.
Actually, the IRS offers different programs. That's what they call it. Different programs when you are in severe tax debt. These are programs that they'll pretty much gauge on your financial situation, and if you how you can pay this debt off and the amount of time, things like that. And they actually have various programs that they specifically work with to help people.
But I more so want to know about tax forgiveness in terms of wiping a slate clean. Is there such a thing with these, people, not saying people like yourself, but these companies that do all this advertising, tax forgiveness? Is there a way to get $10,000 just, forgiven and then you start from a clean slate? Or do you always have to pay that tab? There's no way around it. There's no bankruptcy. There's no goddamn divorce proceeding. Is there a tax forgiveness That's what I'm trying to get to here.
In certain cases, they may forgive your tax debt. In certain cases.
Okay.
You have to prove a hardship, such as health conditions.
Okay.
You've been in the hospital,
right?
Not able to do anything, can't support yourself. It has to be a severe hardship. And I don't think
with terminal cancer. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you up. With terminal cancer, or let's say stage 3, stage 4, would that qualify someone to get tax forgiveness? Because hey, they might have stepped in to try and garnish wages. Would then affect whether it be a Blue Cross, Blue Shield, Cigna. I mean, I've done some research on this over the years.
Well, if they have wages, then they can pay some money back. So it's like, I feel like, well, I don't feel like, pretty much, it has to be a severe like hardship, and they have to gauge it. So you can't ask me if I have this, will they forgive me? Right. I don't know. We have to submit in the paperwork and wait on the approval or denial.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've dealt with people, throughout my life who have had cancer and other things, and they have submitted paperwork to the IRS to say, hey, you can't take $300 out of my check that I get from Social Security. I only get $1,200 a month. If you're taking money out, then I can't pay my rent. I can't get my goddamn medication. It's kind of deep.
Right.
Anyway, guys, contact Alicia. There's her information, gurubusinesscenter.com. Anything else with regards to tax preparation or helping people put together books and how to monitor spending? That's very important, right? Or when it comes down to filing taxes?
Yes, we do tax preparation. We offer bookkeeping as well as payroll services to our entrepreneur clients. But right now, tax resolution seems to be a major issue.
Okay.
If you owe more than $54,000 to the IRS, you should be contacting a professional immediately, because you are at risk of liens and garnishments and levies.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay. Great to talk.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Star, and have a lovely weekend.
You too. I'll talk to you soon, Alicia.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Bye. Okay. Alicia Burns, contact her at gurubusinesscenter.com. Star Report back in the building Friday night. And we're talking about the Shaquille O'Neal diss track aimed at Shannon Sharpe. And let me just say this again, in case you're new to the show, you're just now tuning in. I like Shannon Sharpe. I do. I don't watch him that often. I don't watch anybody too often that I like, because, again, I don't want to be overly critical. I don't want to say what they should have done or something that bothered me. No, I respect what he does. I peek in from time to time. Being a person who has been doing this and doing it well over the decades, I know that sometimes you can try to do something or say something, it doesn't work. Or maybe you said something that, you didn't think through, and then somebody who wants to react. Hey, give me a fucking break. Sometimes talking on this microphone for hours per week, per day, it's a drain. So everything that Shannon Sharpe says, or anybody else, I don't want to necessarily criticize them. However, I do think what he said about Shaquille O'Neal, he owes him more of an apology. Shaquille O'Neal is one of the, I'm going to say, GOATs. He didn't want to use the word GOAT. I found that to be odd. Shaquille O'Neal most certainly is a GOAT. Many of you younger people, you would say that Shannon Sharpe is a GOAT. Hey, I get it. The word GOAT is thrown around all the time. Oh, the GOAT. Sometimes it doesn't even fit the goddamn person, but you say it anyway, so I get it. But that's where we are this evening, trying to comb through it. And hey, it's Friday, so I'm sipping a beer. Guys, sit tight on the phones. I'm coming shortly. I got myself another beer, Miller High Life. Haven't had one of these since I was living in Woodstock, GA. Shoo. I also want to mention again, with regards to the young man, Roger Fortson, an active duty senior airman. Okay. He was killed down in Florida. You can see the body cam footage of the sheriff who came to the door, and when the door was opened, he had the firearm in his hand. Now, they're going to, deal with this, down there, and Okaloosa County Sheriff, to be precise, released the video. There was a news conference. I feel for this young man's family, but I am going to say this with regards to anybody, whether you're in the armed forces or not, you cannot open that door with a firearm in your hand. And if you think about, what law enforcement goes through and how many situations are they're put in or put upon them where they have to react in split second time. You're not always in the mood, or sometimes it's you react. And I'm not trying to make an excuse, but at the same time, you got a firearm in your hand. Whoa! Is it I'm about to lose my life? No. Pow, pow, pow. I just had to say that, okay? Elvis, I got your donation. Thank you for tapping in. Okay. Elvis, how was your channel, Premium Black News? Anything new that we should know about, sir? And do you have a new banner, Elvis, or should I be running your older banner? Let me know when you get time, okay? Precision Healthcare Services, thank you for your support as always. Let me get your banner ready here for the end of the show. Precision Healthcare Services. Okay, I got your banner in the queue. All right. Thank you for tapping in. Let's go to 404. Hey, it's Friday, late night. Good evening. Are you there? 404.
Hi. Good evening. Hi, Star.
Hey, who's this?
Good evening. Good evening. Hi, Star.
Hey, baby. Can you make the adjustments? You called the other night.
Yes, I can.
You called the other night, right?
No, this is my first time ever calling. This is my first time ever donating.
Oh,
this is G.
Thank you, baby. You're on a headset or something? It's going in and out. Are you on a headset? What's cracking?
I'm sorry. Can you hear me okay now?
There you go. How are you? Where do you want to start?
Okay, let's start here. My name is G. Hey. I'm from Georgia.
Hey.
Georgette.
Hey.
Georgette.
Okay.
And I have a question, or I have a statement. Here we go.
Go ahead.
They're always talking about Michael Jordan, LeBron James, and Kobe Bryant. There's a big difference in the way that they were taught. LeBron was taught by, I can't remember, but I think it was his coach, that his mother had signed him up for basketball, and the coach took him his mother had signed him up for football, and his mother took him over to basketball.
Okay.
I think his name was James. I can't remember the last name.
Okay.
Kobe, he was, of course, taught by his father. Now, you got Michael. He was Michael Jordan. He was taught by his brother in the backyard.
Right.
Okay? Now, the only difference between any of those players is the era and also who taught them. I'm a basketball player. I play ball.
Okay.
Okay? We could only play until we got to high school because, of course, I didn't want to go to college, and I damn well didn't. But I made plenty of money.
Okay.
Don't get it fucked up.
Okay.
Excuse me. Pardon my language.
Pardon the language.
Now,
okay, go ahead.
with Kobe, he was taught by his father. Right. With Michael Jordan, he was taught by his brother.
Right.
Okay. And LeBron was taught by the gentleman at the rec. Now, the difference in the teaching is that Jordan was taught with his brother. He was taught rough in North Carolina. Yeah. Okay. You're from there. I'm from D.C. I'm from Durham County. Get it understood.
I'm actually from New Jersey, but I know what you're saying. Go ahead.
I'm from Durham, Granville County. I've heard you all the time. I just haven't had the money to donate, and you said cheap bitches don't come in. I respect that.
Okay.
Now,
can I jump in for a second here? Now, my focus is Shaquille O'Neal dropping the diss track against Shannon Sharpe. Are you bringing this full?
We got it. Let me get to it. Give me a moment. This is my first time ever.
Come on.
Okay. Florida Boy Jay, I love him. Rory, everybody on your channel. Dana, I always listen to her. Now, only thing I'm saying is that Michael Jordan, Kobe, and LeBron, if you had 4 seconds on the clock and you had to inboard the ball, and you on your end of the court, which one of them do you want to have it?
Larry Bird.
And you would see the greatness.
Larry Bird.
I would want Michael to have it. Then Kobe. Then LeBron. LeBron is not a closer. Okay?
Yeah.
Diesel, Shaq Diesel, yeah, he a big man. He was in that middle. Okay? Now, when Diesel got in the middle, he was overweight and he couldn't make it. He was dragging up the court. Okay, that's why Kobe couldn't play with him, and that's why he went to Miami. Now, if he, like Shannon said, if he had those MVPs behind his name, then Shannon would have gave him a break. Okay, Shannon told you honestly. He said, "Look, I can't give Shaq all that. He didn't make MVP. He had his I forget who it was that went over him, but it was somebody that went over him that they said that he should have gotten it, but he didn't. But hell, if you could, you would. Hey, almost no cigar."
Okay, I'm going to jump in now. I hear what you're saying, and I gave you time to go around the long route.
I did. Thank you, baby. I love you so much.
Now, let me say this. Let me say this. You know, what Shannon Sharpe said with regards to what he thinks Shaq could have achieved is hoe-ass shit. That's hoe-ass shit. It's not your place, nigga, to say what you think I should have done or gone on to become. What Shaq is, what Shaq was, aside from the most dominant player, he's got career highlights that are through the goddamn roof. That was some hoe-ass shit for Shannon Sharpe to say. That's what I'm saying. Now, Shaq has responded with the diss track. Let's bring it back to the diss track. Did you hear it? Do you think that Shannon Sharpe will respond with his own diss track, or will he get his mind right? Because Shaq is not one to play with, if you ask me. Go ahead.
Look, Shannon can't respond to that shit. He's not a rapper. He's a country boy. Only thing I'm saying is that Shannon, like you, like me, like Ocho, they was all respectful with it. Okay? They said there was no disrespect. They, of course, said that. Even Ocho. They were very, I thought, respectful. If Shaq hadn't put it out there to his wife or his ex-wife, who said, hell, she wasn't in love with him, but she loved him. Okay, he put it out there, and then he said, hey, I was MV, I was this, I was that. He should have been talking to her and not putting it on Instagram as well. She shouldn't have put it in the book. But when they made it,
she put it in the book, baby. Said, and I have to disagree with you. He responded in a very gentleman way, you know.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. You would say that because you're a gentleman. I would say what I'm saying because I'm a woman.
Okay.
You stay in a woman's place. Okay, whatever happened in our bedroom or whatever didn't love, hey, I keep it to myself, you keep it to yours. But when he put it out there and she put it out there, it was hey, we all sit on it.
Okay.
We all sit on our opinion.
Okay.
And I respect her. And I respect him. However, Shannon, he did his job in the NFL. You can come back and forth and back. When you deal with your job, you can speak on what you say.
Okay.
And stand 10 toes down. Like Shaq, hey, come on, man. You know doggone well because we got rid of your ass in the Lakers because you got lazy. Okay? He wasn't going for that. Okay? And that's all I'm saying. Okay, I love Shaq, love all of them, but even love you, my baby. Look at you smiling.
Thank you,
so
baby.
handsome.
Thank you.
I love you for it.
Okay.
I love you for it.
Hey.
We're probably sisters and brothers because I'm from Durham. So your father could have been my father.
Okay.
I love you.
Okay,
Peace.
Thank you, darling. Have a good night. Thank you so much.
Take care of yourself.
Thank you, baby. Okay.